out here again with another lesson to teach the gospel of the kingdom to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which makes up the biblical Hebrew Israelites. So with that being said, we're going to start off this lesson like we always do by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. And double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone that rule well and that teach well while learning this truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet service scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere, and your children. Shalom. And in today's lesson, as you can see, as I titled today's lesson, that prophecy is speaking loud and clear, man. And we all know times of prophecy, man, where things are coming to pass, just as the men of the Lord have been speaking. Starting off with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the Great Millstone that rule well and that teach well. What we ultimately learn is 100% truth according to the Bible. You see, the Lord has set those men up in these times to be the leaders of Israel, ultimately to warn you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians of ultimately the time that is coming, man, and the time that we're in ultimately, because we see that everything that is happening is already, getting worse in this place, America, and it's only going to intensify, man. Everything that we see happening with these ICE raids and, the troops being sent out to Chicago and all of these different things that are occurring in America is only going to intensify, man. And that's what we're ultimately sent to warn you Israelites, to tell you that ultimately, to turn back to the Lord while you still can, man. Why the Lord still may be found, you see, because there is going to come a time and season where you're not going to be able to seek the Lord, man. Where ultimately when he brings these judgments full swing, you're not going to be able to seek after the Lord because the doors of mercy are closing. And that's why we're ultimately telling you Israelites to repent, man, and to turn back to the Lord now while you still can, you see. So I'm going to actually start off right here, because this is ultimately what the Lord has sent us out here to do, right? Which is to prophesy, which is to say before, right? And these are the things in which it is that the men of the Lord will be prophesying about in these times, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesies both against great kingdoms of war, right? And that's what we're telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that's getting ready to come. We're telling you that World War III is coming. We're telling you that race wars, class wars, civil wars, and all of these different things are getting ready to take place soon in Babylon the Great America. We're warning of all these things, man, because we are in that time and season of these things getting ready to manifest, you see? And it says, and of evil, right? Evil meaning bad times. And we're definitely in some bad times, man. And things is only going to get worse, right? What does it say in 2nd Hedges chapter 14, verse 16? It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen done shall be done hereafter, man. You see, so each day that goes by is going to just continue to get worse than the day before it. That's the times and seasons that we are in, man, where things are just going to continue to build up more and more, right? And to get worse, In verse 17 says, for look how much the world shall be weakened through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. That's talking about you people, man. You see, mainly upon you tribes. That's why we're telling you to turn back to the Lord now, man, while you still can, and not to be taking these warnings that we're giving you as a joke. Because ultimately, if you're taking what we're saying as a joke, you're laughing, you're scoffing, you're believing in your mind that what we're telling you is not going to happen, then ultimately you're going to face the consequences when these things actually happen. You see, because you didn't seek the Lord, that you thought these warnings that the men of the Lord were giving you were all fun and games, man. A lot of you people about to get a rude awakening soon, man, especially you 2/3 Israelites, man, that don't want to turn back to the Lord, that want to continue to engage in wickedness, man, to continue with the, doing the things that you jakes out here doing, man. You see? But I'm going to get back in it. It says, and of evil and of pestilences, you see, and these are all of the things in which it is that the men of Yahweh and Yahweh are warning of. Just like the men of old warned about these things, that's the same thing that the men of old, which are coming back in the reincarnation, are doing now, man. What does it tell you in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9? It said that there is no new thing under the sun, man. You see, so just like the men of old were prophesying of evils and dangers and impending destruction, that's the same thing that the men of the Lord are doing now in this time, man. The same thing, you see. And I'm going to actually get into 2nd Hedges chapter 15 today, because ultimately this is the chapter that we see coming to life, man, especially here in this place, America, with everything that you ultimately have going on now in the news. You see, with everything that Donald Trump is doing, we see that this chapter right here is coming to life in front of our eyes, man, because we are living in a time where these things in these specific chapters throughout the scriptures are about to begin to start happening, man. You see? So this is 2nd Hedges, chapter 15, and I'm going to start at the top. And it says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, right? Who's the Lord's people? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man, which makes up the biblical Hebrew Israelites. And you do have our people scattered among the heathen as well. So you may have, Israelites that may look like the heathen nations, but their seed line also goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because we ultimately understand that this is not a thing of color. You see, it all goes according to the spirit, man, and ultimately the seed line of your father, where it traces back to. You see? So it says the words of prophecy, right, which is the spirit of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah. You see, our Lord is the spirit of prophecy, man. And that's what the true men of the Lord are going to be directly engaged in. You see, that's what they're going to be occupied in, these prophecies, man. You see? And I'm going to just prove that real quick. This is Revelations. Chapter 19. And I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. This is our forefather, John the Revelator, sent an angel. It says, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is the spirit of prophecy, you see. And that word prophecy means to say before. And that's what the men of the Lord are warning you Israelites about. We're warning you of the things that are to come before they actually happen. And ultimately to get right with the Lord and the seeking, man. You see, while you still can. You see, before the impending judgment comes, right? So this is back where I left off at. It says, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. You see, verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, man. And that's talking about these prophecies, man. These things are faithful and true. Because despite whether you Israelites want to believe it or not, that these things are going to happen, they're going to happen. Because a lot of our people, when we tell them these things, they look at us like we're crazy. They believe in their mind that, oh, y'all been saying that stuff for thousands of years. Why come it ain't happened yet? You see, that's why Jake, is fully setting them to be unbelievers, man. Because in their mind, you see those things have not happened when they wanted it to happen or when they thought it was going to happen. They don't believe these things are going to happen. But as it tells us in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, it says that for the vision, which are the prophecies, is yet for an appointed time. And at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come and will not tarry. So all of these things that ultimately the men of the Lord are warning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians about, according to prophecy that we're telling you is going to come, is going to happen, man. You see, and we're in that time of season now where all of these things that the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone have been speaking about, that they're beginning to manifest, man. You see, everything that the men of the Lord have been speaking about is all beginning to, manifest in this time. We're seeing the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. We're seeing World War III heating up. You see, we see everything moving in this society towards a digital system, which is going to bring in the MOTB microchip. So everything that the men of the Lord has been saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, all of these things are coming to pass, man. You see? So it doesn't matter if people don't believe it or not. You people are going to see these things regardless, man. And it's going to happen. Because we know ultimately it's impossible for Yahweh Shem Shah to lie, man. Right? And I'm going to grab another precept real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 55. And I'm going to start at verse 11. I'm going to get straight to the point. It says, so shall my word, right? The word of the Lord is the prophecies, right? Be that going forth out of my mouth. Who's the mouthpiece of the Lord? The prophets, man. Right? That's Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets, which are the men that he have set up in these times to warn Israel. You see, starting off with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone and the men that follow under them that teach the same doctrine, right? It says, it shall not return unto me void, right? Meaning empty, because like I said, all of these prophecies are faithful and true. All of these things will come to pass at their appointed time that the Heavenly Father has them set to take place in. All of these words shall stand, you see? The counsel of the Lord shall stand. But it says, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. You see, so like I said, all of these things are going to happen, man. So we're going to get back into it. 2nd Hedges chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, you see? And that word incredulity goes into unbelief. And ultimately, we know that the good majority of our people, they don't believe. You see, they come up against this word, they scoff at it, they laugh, they ridicule it, all of these different types of things, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we know that these words are going to come to pass, man. These prophecies shall stand, despite whether Jake or Eve don't believe it. You see, we shouldn't allow that ultimately to deter our faith and deter our belief that we have in Yahweh Shem Yahushua just because these people don't believe. We know that the Lord going to blind the 2/3 of our people because ultimately 2/3 of Israel is going to die on this side anyway, man. You see, so that's why the Lord has ultimately blinded them off to where they can't receive this gospel, where they don't believe in it. You see, that's why it sounds crazy to these people, the things that we speak about, that we prophesy and say ought to come. Because in their minds, right, these carnal minds that these people have, they don't see these things coming to pass, man. You see? But what does it say? I'm going to grab Romans chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 3. It said, for what if some did not believe? You see? Shall that unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Shem Yahushua without effect, right? And we know the answer to that is no. You see? Verse 4, it says, Yahweh forbid, yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. You see? So like I said, it doesn't matter if people don't believe these things that we're warning them of or not. Because at the end of the day, it shall stand. These things will happen, man. We are living in a time where all of these things that the elder apostles and the elder bishops been speaking about are coming to pass, man. You see, you just got to be a complete, bug out to not see the things jumping off of the pages of the scriptures, man. You see? But I'm going to get back to it. This is verse 4. And this is why we ultimately don't, allow the incredulity of these people to trouble us. Because as it says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man. So everybody that ultimately don't believe, for you 2/3 Israelites, that don't believe in this gospel, that come up against it, that scoff at it, you see that laugh when you see the men of the Lord out here prophesying on the highways and the byways. Hey, you people are going to perish, man, when the Lord brings all of these different evils upon the earth. You see, you're going to perish in your unbelief, man. You see? It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? And this is verse 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, man. And we're living in that time and season now where the Lord is bringing plagues upon the earth. That's why you see everything in this place, America, getting worse, man. You see why you think you got hundreds of thousands of people getting laid off back to back? You think all of that being done by design? No, man. All of this stuff is happening because the Lord is plaguing this earth, man. Mainly this place, America, Babylon the Great. This place is getting it the worst. That's why we continuously to see things happening and getting worse in this society, man. You see, and it's only going to get worse. That's what we're telling you people about. That's what we're warning you is coming. You see, evil and only evil, man. Right? And it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, right? Famine, death, and destruction. These are all of the things in which it is that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready to bring upon the earth. You see? And we see these things happening now, but like I said, they're going to continue to intensify and increase more and more, man. You see? It says, verse 6, because this is the reason why the Lord is bringing these evils. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord. You see, and when you go into the days of Noah that was before the flood, you see everything that was ultimately occurring during that time period. You see how the Lord looked down upon the earth and saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. You see, and that the thoughts and the imaginations of these people's heart was only evil continually. And that's what the Lord sees now in this place, man, especially in America. You see, especially among the 2/3 of our own people. You see, the only thing these people are thinking about day in and day out is wickedness, man. So that's why the Lord is getting ready to bring the judgment upon this place, man. You see, and rightfully so. This is verse 8. It says, well, I'm going to read 7. Therefore saith the Lord, verse 8, I will hold my tongue no more touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves, you see? Because our people love committing wickedness, man. You see, they love doing things that goes against the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Jake delights in it, man. You see, it tells you that in Jeremiah 4:22. It says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. So our people are just going to continue to keep going off and off, more and more, continuing to be wicked, continuing to do the things in which it is that they do in their day-to-day lives till the Lord brings the judgment, man. Just like what happened during the days of Noah. Like I said, Noah was out there prophesying 120 years, man. Nobody believed the things that Noah said were going to happen till it actually started happening, till it started raining. You see, till things started getting worse. And then that's when everybody tried to knock on the ark. That's what everybody's going to do in this time among our people. They're going to wait till all hell breaks loose and the chaos comes, and then they're going to be trying to seek the Lord. Then they're going to be trying to look for the prophets that they've been scoffing and laughing at. You see? But it's going to be too late for you people, man. You see? And rightfully so, man. But what does it say in 2 Hedges 8:50? For many great miseries shall be done unto them that in the latter time that shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And these people here in America are proud as hell, man, especially among our own people, man. You can't tell Jake anything. Jake can't be corrected. You see, Jake has the mindset of it's their way or no way. You see, especially among the women in our nation. So, you know, everything is just completely out of order, man. And that's why the Lord is about to bring the order with this judgment, man. You see? So it says, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You see? And who's ultimately the only ones complaining about all of the wickedness that's ultimately going on in this place, America, in the world? You see, it's definitely not the 2/3 of our people, and it's definitely not these heathens, man. The only people that are complaining to the Lord, that are sighing and crying, you see, for all of the wickedness that's being done in this place, is the elect, man. They're only ones in that contrite, broken spirit, man. You see, crying to the Lord and pleading out for the Lord to judge this place, America, and Lord's willing to deliver us, man. You know, the hopeful elect men and women are the only ones in that spirit. That's why when the Lord brings the judgment that he's about to bring upon planet Earth, guess what? He's going to spare the elect. You see, he's going to spare the 1/3 remnant of his people that have been sighing and crying to the Lord, man. You see? And I'm going to grab that real quick. We're going to go to Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 9. And I start at verse 3 because ultimately this is the time and season that we're in America, man, where the Lord is about to start sending out these death angels, man, where a lot of judgment is about to start going out worldwide, man. That's the time and season that we're in, man. You see? And it says, and the glory of the power of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side, right? Which was a death angel. The Lord was giving this angel a commandment, basically to go out. It tells you on down. You see, basically to seal the elect. You see, the 1/3 of Israel, because this is going to happen here in America, right? The Lord is going to have that thawah, which means to be exempt from judgment upon the heads of his elect, man. But you 2/3 that didn't want to, you know, regard the words of the Lord, you didn't want to seek him during this grace period. You thought everything that the men of the Lord were warning you about was all fun and games. It was laugh worthy. You see, you people gonna die, man. You see, and it's coming real soon for you people, man. You see, the Lord is not playing. You see, but like I said, Jake don't think stuff gonna happen to them, man. You see, our people think stuff sweet, as they would say in the world, man. That's what Jake truly believes in his mind, that, oh, the Lord ain't gonna do nothing to me. Oh, I'm good. You know, oh, I've been getting away with being evil and doing wicked for so long that I don't think I'll ever be stopped. This is Jake mindset, man, because our people are full of pride, man. Full of themselves, man. You see? But that haughtiness is about to be the reason why the Lord is about to punish a lot of you Jakes, man. You see? And it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, which this is going to be in America, man. Right? Because the Lord is about to unleash these plagues, man. You see, you're about to have a lot of things happening here soon come. We already see the beginning of everything. All of these different pestilences and diseases that are arising out of nowhere. Things that these devils can't even explain is coming out of the woodworks. That's because the Lord is bringing these things, man. He's getting ready to unleash a mass amount of judgment in the earth, man. You see? And it says, go through the midst of Jerusalem, right? Which is a people before us a place. This is talking about the Israelites. You see? It says to set a mark. Salakia, brothers. So that'd be Satan. It says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You see? And like I said, the only ones that are in that spirit of crying and sighing out to the Lord, that are ultimately being vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, are the elect, man. Because like I said before, the 2/3 of our people, they don't see anything wrong with how things are being ran in America. They don't see a problem with the so-called white man poisoning the water, poisoning the food that they're eating. You see, GMOs, everything that they consume. None of the food you even eat is real, man. All of this stuff is genetically modified with plastics, all type of different things in it. And these people love it here, man. So guess what? The 2/3 of our people, they don't see anything wrong with America. You see? That's why, like I said, when the Lord judges this place, the 2/3, they're going to go along, right along with the judgment that the Lord has in store for this place, man. Because they don't want to depart from the ways of America. You see? And it says, verse 5, and to the others he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, right? That word smite means to put down. in a violent fashion. And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do in these times with these judgments he's about to unleash. You see, the Lord is about to not have any pity upon you heathens and you 2/3, man. You see? And it says, let not your eyes spare it, neither have ye pity. Verse 6, it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. You see, because ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushua is no respecter of persons, man. You see, if you don't ultimately want to seek the Lord and follow after his ways, for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women and your offsprings, hey, the Lord is going to judge you, man. That's the time and season that we're in. If you either going to seek the Lord and follow after his ways, you see, turn back, sorrowful and remorseful for your wrongful thoughts, sayings, and doings in this life as well as your former lives. If not, then guess what? You're going to be judged, man. That just is what it is, you know? And I'm going to actually go to a precept on that, right? Because this is what's coming, man. You see? This is 2 Chronicles. Chapter 15, and I'm going to read verse 12. It said, and they entered into a covenant to seek the Lord power with their fathers with all their heart and with all their soul. Verse 13, this is the point. It says that whosoever would not seek the Lord power of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. And this is that time that we're in, man. That for you Israelites out there, if you're not seeking your power and trying to get right with them, you see, if you're not kissing the son, as it tells you to do in Psalms 2 and 12, lest he be angry, then guess what? You're about to perish, man, when the Lord brings these judgments upon this earth, man. When the Lord allows this devil, Esau, Edom, this so-called white man to come down with fury. Because we see everything that ultimately Donald Trump is putting in place, and we know that things are about to get real, you know, catastrophic out here in the streets of Babylon and Great America, man. We already see it. The writing is on the wall of what's about to ultimately come upon this country, man. You see? And that's why we're warning you, Jake, to seek the Lord, man. You know? It says, back at Ezekiel 9 and verse 6, it says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin on my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So like I said before, man, we're coming into some very deadly, serious times. You know, the scripture says it's going to be a time like no other. As it tells you in Matthew 24 and 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time there ever shall be. So ultimately, we're going to need Yahweh Shem Yahushua in these times to make it through. And if you don't have the Lord dealing with you, for you Israelites, there's not going to be any way you're going to make it through this, man. Because that's just how terrible it's going to be out here, man. You see, it's going to be worse than anything that you people have ever known, man. You see, worse than anything that you'd ever, you know, read throughout history of events that took place in the earth that were, you know, catastrophic and, you know, what's the word? That were bad, you see? Like anything you could possibly put together in your mind that you feel happened throughout Earth's existence that was, you know, bad, where a lot of people, you know, were deleted. You know, you can put all of that together and it's not about to add up to the times that the Lord is about to bring in this time. So guess what? The only way you're going to ultimately be able to make it through these times, guess what? The Lord going to have to be with you for you Israelites, man. That's why we're telling you to seek the Lord and to turn back to him, because he's going to be your only hope in these times, man. Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, this devil, he damn sure is not going to help you Jakes, man. You see? So without the Lord, you Jakes are going to perish, man. You see? So I'm going to get back to 2nd Hedges chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse... I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. And who is that talking about that the Lord is going to avenge? That's the elect, man, of the nation of Israel, the 1/3 of his people. Because he's going to be with them in these terrible times, as I said. You know, the Lord is going to be bringing the elect through all of these terrible things in which it is he's about to bring upon planet Earth, man. You see, the famines, the race wars, the class wars. You see, the teeth of wild beasts. You see everything in which it is that the Lord is ultimately about to unleash in these times. He's going to be with his elect in them all, man. Delivering them, bringing them through it, comforting them. You see, giving them the spirit to be able to bear whatever it is they may ultimately face. Hey, we want the Lord to do that for us, man. That's why we pray and hope, Abba Ratazah, Yahweh Ratazah, that we're the Lord's remnant, man. We pray and hope that we're the Lord's remnant, that he's going to have mercy upon these times. Because we know we're going to have to need the Lord, man. You see, we're not going to be able to make it through this stuff on our own. You see, leaning onto our own understanding, leaning onto food stockpiles and weapons, and doing all of these carnal things that you got Esau and these other, heathens doing. That's not going to get you through these times, man, if you don't got the Lord. If you don't have the Lord coming into this time we're about to come into, you're already through, man. You see, you're already dead and you just don't know it. You see, that's why a lot of these people that walk past us day in and day out, these people are already dead, man. And they don't even know it. The walking dead, you see? And it says, verse 10, behold, my people, right? The Lord's people are the Israelites, right? The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. It said it's led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, right? And what is that talking about? That's talking about modern day Egypt, man, which is this place, Babylon and Great America. You see, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to deliver his elect, right, the 1/3 of Israel, from ultimately this place, America, man. You see, he's going to deliver us from this place. Because ultimately, as it tells you in Matthew 24 and verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. That's why the Lord is speeding up the time. That's why things are happening so quickly, man. It's all for the elect's sake, man. You see who the Lord cares for, So I'm going to finish reading verse 11. It says, but I will bring them with the mighty hand, you see, and the stretched out arm, and smite Egypt, right, which is America, with plagues as before. And that's letting you know that this is not talking about ancient Egypt during the time of Pharaoh. This is talking about Babylon and Great America, man. You see? It says, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's ultimately what's coming to the good old US of A, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready to wipe this place off of the face of the earth. That's why you see everything heating up over there between Russia and America, man. The wars and the rumors of wars, all of that stuff is going to boil over to the Third World War, man, which is going to be the Battle of Armageddon, which is going to result in America, the good old US of A, being destroyed, man, by 200 million nuclear warheads and the laser beams of the chariots. That's what's getting ready to come upon this place, America. And we're fastly approaching that date. That's why you continuously seeing everything heat up more and more worldwide, man. That's why you see these devils moving so quickly to hurry up and to try to establish their new world order, because they know that they have but a short time. They know that their world is coming to its end, man, and that the Lord soon is going to return, man, and take this damn devil down, But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn, talking about you Babylonians, man. You see? And you see that now happening with these people here in America. They're mourning continuously, man. You see? You got all these different women on TikTok, and all type of other different social media websites complaining because their food stamps getting cut, complaining because their government job that they, worked so hard for to achieve that it got snatched away from them. Yeah, you got a lot of these people in America mourning. But guess what? The sorrows are going to only increase, man. You see, it's going to get way worse for you people here in Babylon the Great, man. It ain't going to slow up anytime soon, right? What does it say? Let me grab that. Bear with me. This is 2nd Hedges chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse 37. It said, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. You see, so everything that we ultimately see happening in the earth now, that people are mourning and sighing and crying and complaining over, hey, that's only the beginning, man. Greater sorrows are ahead, man. You see? And it says, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains could pass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. You see? Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, meaning the people that are in the world, right? And sorrows shall come upon it on every side, you see? And that's what we ultimately see happening worldwide, man. Nothing but sorrows are plaguing this earth, right? And it's only going to continue to get worse, man, But this is back in 2nd Hedges chapter 15, and I'm going to read verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall bring upon it, man. And the Lord has a lot of things in store for this place, America, man. A lot of different things. Like I said, famine is getting ready to come to this place, right? A lot of different pestilences. You see, all type of different wars are beginning to take place in these streets soon come. You see, you're going to have Egyptian against Egyptian. All of these different things is what's about to come down the pipeline, man. Real soon to you Babylonians, man. And it says, verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail and with the fearful constellation, you see? And that's going into the famine, man. You see? And like I said, we know that the Lord said that he would do this, right? Let me grab Jeremiah chapter 15, right? Because this is that time that we're coming into. The Lord said, I'm going to start at verse 1, right? And it says, then saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua unto me, though Moses and Samuel, which we know those were two very righteous men in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, Moses and Samuel, man, right? The Lord loved those men because they was righteous in his sight, you see? But it says, stood before me, yet my mind cannot be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And that just goes to show you how degenerate and how wicked our people are, man, the 2/3 of them. That even if Samuel and Moses stood up on the behalf of them, the Lord still wouldn't let them pass, man. That's why the 2/3 are going to be destroyed on this side, man. There's no hope for you 2/3 Israelites, man, because you're finished. That's why the only thing Yahweh Shem Yahushua has to bring forth, Jake, is judgment, man. You see, they're ultimately going to be born back in the kingdom through the loins of the elect, of course. So they're going to come back in the kingdom, but on this side, you got to be judged, man. Because on this side, you're just completely wicked, man. You see? And that's ultimately the lot that the Lord has for the 2/3. Destruction, right? And I'm actually go to one more precept. This is Isaiah chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 3, but the point is at verse 4 and 5, right? But I'm going to start at 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel, which is a people before its place. That's talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? Doth not know, my people doth not consider. Verse 4, it says a sinful nation, right? Because our people are very, very sinful, man. You see, very wicked. You see, wise to do the wrong thing, man. You see? But it says a people laden with iniquity, right? Wickedness, sin upon sin. It says a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. It says they have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backwards, man. And the Lord has anger with you 2/3, man. And he's about to show it in this time that we're in, man. How much anger he has towards you. You see, especially when he unleashes this devil, man. Esau Edom, his whooping stick on the left-hand side. The so-called white man, right? That's why you see everything happening now with ICE and all of these deportation things that are going on. Now you got a video that I just seen from the brother. You see GMS Austere Man. I think that's the brother out there in Chicago. He actually posted a video yesterday that I watched where you had ICE snatching up Southern Kingdom, Jake. They snatched up a so-called African-American man. You see, snatched him up, you know, brought him into the alley and no telling what they did to him. But that just goes to show you these are the things that the men of the Lord, we've been warning you Israelites that are coming down the pipeline. And guess what? You people don't want to listen. So guess what? At the end of the day, you people about to deal with the consequences, man, for not taking heed to the men of the Lord. You see? And we don't care about you people, man. You see? So I'm going to finish reading. This is verse 5. It said, why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint, you see? So no matter how many times the Lord sends the prophets to correct Jake and to tell them to turn from their wrong doings that they're doing, you know, they're not going to seek the Lord, man. They're going to just continue to revolt more and more. That means to continue to go off, do their own thing. You see, do things in a way that they see fit. And that's why, like I said, the judgment is coming, man. You see? So I'm going to get back to Jeremiah 15. And I'm going to start at verse 2. Because this is what's coming. It said, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, right? So you already got people, their lots are to be put to death, man. You see? And it says, and such are for the sword to the sword. You already got people that are, you know, set up, predestined to fall by the sword, which today the modern day sword is going into the gun. But the ultimate sword is going to be those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. You see? And it says, and such are for the famine to the famine. You see, that's what's getting ready to come too. A lot of you jakes are going to perish due to hunger, man. You see? And we know that the so-called average Negro, Latino, Native American men, especially the women, you see, y'all can't go without eating, man. You see, you people can't go 2-3 days or even a day fasting, you know, or going without, you know, certain things. You people got to constantly indulge day in and day out. So how bad it's going to get when you people don't have none of these things, man? And the only people that are going to have these things in these times when these things happen are the Lord's elect, those that have been being obedient unto the Lord, those that have been following after his ways to the best of their abilities. They're going to be taken care of in these times when all of these things get manifested. You see? And I'm actually going to go to that precept too, man. You know, because the Lord is going to take care of the elect during the time of famine, during the time of, you know, everything else that's coming, man. You see? This is Psalms chapter 37. I'm going to start at verse 25. It said, I have been young and now I'm old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You see? So Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to come through for the elect, man, of the nation of Israel. In the times of famine, when these stores that you people see now that are filled with food, once they begin to get shorted, because that's going to happen real soon, man, right? Because we see that everything that's happening in America, that we are headed in the direction of civil war, man. You see, race wars, class wars, these are the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to bring upon the shores of America. And when these things happen, you're going to have looting, all type of different things going on. So the food is going to dry up real quickly, man. You see, and also you got to remember all of those tariffs that Donald Trump put on a lot of these countries. So America is not already not getting all of the, resources in that they used to get because all of the sanctions they put on these countries, man. So, I mean, hey, this place is through, man. All of these things that we're warning about are soon about to plague this country, man. You see, whether you people believe it or not, you see. But I'm going to finish reading. It said, I have been young and now I'm old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So like I said, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to come through for the elect of the nation of Israel in the midst of famine. Because it's definitely coming. You see? And that's going to be the way that a lot of people perish, man, due to not having anything to eat. And we know that's ultimately a terrible judgment, man. You see, to perish by famine, man. And I'm going to grab that real quick, too. This is Lamentations chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, their visage is blacker than the coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick, man. And that's going to be due to the famine, man. Due to the people not having anything to eat, man. People are going to be looking like, stick people out here, man. Real soon, your biggest 600, 700 pound American, once this famine hit, man, you're going to have people out here, super skinny, man. People bodies going to be looking like, wood sticks out here, man. You see, that's just how bad it's about to get out here soon come. And that's ultimately why you also going to have cannibalism coming back. Because that's in the scriptures as well, man. These are all of the things that the Lord is about to bring in these times, man. This is what's about to come to pass, man. You see? Because like I said earlier, these people don't know how to fast. They don't know how to go a day or 2, 3, or 4 without eating. You see, they got to constantly, please their flesh. So guess what? What you think people going to do when there ain't no food left? You see? And like I said, to die of famine, I'm actually read that precept, right? Verse 9, it's a painful way to go. And once people get to that point to where they feel their body rotting and decaying from within because they haven't ate in 2-3 months, you best believe people going to start cannibalizing and eating each other, man. That's what's going to happen out here in America. You see? It says, verse 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they be slain with hunger, right? So it's better to be ultimately slain with the sword, man. The sword representing the gun, you see? And guess what? Because if you perish by the sword, it'll be a quick, death, you see? But to ultimately perish of not having anything to eat, right, or starvation, it's a terrible judgment because guess what? Your body is deteriorating from within. Your body is eating off of itself, man. You see? And it's going to be a lot of people fake, man. These are the judgments that the Lord has in store for a lot of people, man. You see? And we want to be exempt from those things, man, because we know it's coming, right? But it says, for these pine away stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. You see? And that's what's going to happen. And it says, I'm going to read verse 10. The hands of the pitiful women have sought in their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. And like I said, that's what's going to happen, man. You're going to have cannibalism coming. You see? And I'm going to actually go to another precept on that. This is 2nd Hedges chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 57. It says, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fail through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. You see, verse 58. And they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh, man. What is that talking about? Cannibalism. That's what's coming to America. You see, that's what's coming for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians that don't want to seek the Lord. That's what's coming for you, man. You see? Except you repent, you know? But it says, and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. You see? So that's how bad it's going to get out here real soon, man, that people going to resort to drinking their own, blood, man, just to, have something to drink, man, to quench their thirst, man. This is how bad it's about to get out here in America, man. And that's why we ultimately urge you Israelites to repent, man, to turn back to the Lord. Because like I said, you can laugh now and think that, oh, that ain't going to never happen because you're able to still go to Walmart today and go in there and buy you whatever it is you want to buy. But like I said, these stores real soon are going to be empty, man, when the chaos really begins to ensue, right? And I'm going to go to that real quick, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 6, man. Right? And I'm gonna start at verse 22, right? And I'm gonna read the 24. It said, and suddenly, right, when something happens suddenly, that's when you least expect it. And that's how ultimately these things are going to come upon this place, America. When these famines and all of these different things that the men of the Lord have been warning of actually begins to take place in this country, it's going to happen when you people least expect it. People ain't going to be expecting a store to just randomly get empty. That's why I said suddenly, right? Which means when you least expect it. You see? But it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. What are the sown places? That's going into these stores, man. Your Walmarts, your Krogers, your Save-A-Lots, all of these different stores that you people go to receive victuals, man, which is food. You see? It says, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? It's going to be found empty suddenly, man, right? It's going to happen when you people not expecting it, right? Because you people are comfortable. And like I said, you people don't believe in your mind that these things are going to come upon America. So that's why it's ultimately going to overtake you people unawares, man. You see? But it says, verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, right? And why is this going to be the case? Because like I said, you're going to have food shortages happening and people are going to be divided, man. But ultimately, that's the spirit that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said that he's going to bring upon the earth, man, in these times, right? And I'm going to grab that and we're going to come back just so I can prove that. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse 34. And it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. You see, this is what the Lord is sending on the earth, man. So, of course, in these times when all of these things begin to happen, you're going to have family members fighting against each other, man. Right? As it tells you on down, it says, for I am come to set a man at variance. That means being at odds or against, right? Against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You see? Verse 36, and a man's foes, meaning your enemy, shall be there of his own household, man. Because like I said, what you think people going to do in these times, man, when they don't got nothing to eat? Then once that MOTBC hip comes into the picture, because that's what this devil's going to come with, you see, to make you people want to get a sense of normality back. If you want to ultimately receive food and all of these other different type of things he's going to promise people, you see, guess what? You're going to have to take his charagma. And you're going to have a lot of people, like I said, that's where the division is going to come in at, because you're going to have people that are going to want to take this devil's charagma and that are going to take his charagma. And then you're going to have family members in the house that are not going to take it, right? Those that are of the elect. And that's going to bring a division, man. You see? But like I said, these are the things that the Lord is bringing, right? And it says, back in 2nd Ezra 6, verse 24, it said, and at that time shall friends fight against another like enemies, right? What does it say in Matthew 24 and 12? And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That word cold in the Greek goes into psychos, man. So like I said, what do you think people are going to do when they don't have food? When power is out? When people ain't took a shower in weeks? You see? When life as they know it is just completely done away with and they know it. These people going to lose their minds, man. So of course you're going to have everybody in that selfish. They're already in that state of mind now here in America. Everybody only cares about themselves. So how much more when things really hit the fan, how selfish and how, self-centered people are going to behave. It's going to be everybody for themselves, man. That's going to be the spirit that all of these Americans are going to be in. They're going to turn on each other, man, like animals, right? And it says, I'm going to finish reading. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. You see? And like I said, that all goes into the famine, man. You see? But I'm going to actually get back to Jeremiah chapter 15, where I left off. Right? Because these are all of the things in which it is that Yahweh Yahushua is about to bring upon the earth. And that's why we constantly go in on these things week in and week out, getting it into the mind of you Israelites, man, of what the Lord is about to bring and why you should ultimately seek him, man. Because as it tells you in Hebrews 10 and 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And a lot of you hard-headed jakes, man, you're about to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. Because of your disobedience, man, for you not wanting to ultimately hearken and to take heed, man. A lot of you people, like I said, are going to wish very soon that you would have took seriously the warnings that the men of the Lord were giving you, man. You see, that you would never, laughed and scoffed and came up against this truth. You're going to wish real soon that you ultimately would have took heed, man. You see? But like I said, our people going to wait till it's too late. You see? I got to grab that too. I'm going to grab that next. This is Jeremiah chapter 15. And I'm going to finish at verse 2 where I left off. It says, and such are for the captivity to the captivity. And what is that ultimately going into? That's going into these concentration camps. Because a lot of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, in this time that we see already here, a lot of you are going to be getting snatched up by ICE and a lot of these other three-letter agencies that Esau has, right along with these military troops that are going to be going door-to-door soon come in America. Because as a lot of you may not know, I did a video earlier, you see where you actually got Donald J. Trump, Nero, that ultimately just put an unrighteous decree in, and he's basically speaking on implementing the Insurrection Act of 1807. And we know that ultimately goes into martial law, man. So you already see everything being set in place, just like the men of the Lord told you people it was going to happen. So all of these things are going to come down the pipeline real soon, man. There's not going to be no denying anything that the men of Yahweh Yahushua, starting out with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, have been speaking. You see, it ain't going to be no denying it real soon, because everything that we're telling you people is literally taking place, man. But guess what? You got Jake in that spirit. They still out here playing. They still out here laughing. They still out here, not listening unto the men of the Lord. But like I said, you people got a rude awakening coming to you, man. You see? Because as it tells you in Proverbs 14 and 12, there's a way which seemeth right, unto a man or a woman, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So it may look like the right thing in your mind to just continue to keep doing your own thing, walking after your own thoughts, not listening to what the men of the Lord are saying. Oh, calling us crazy, shrugging off everything we saying like it sounds weird. But hey, you're going to wish you listened to it real soon, man. Because as it tells you in Isaiah 33 and 6, that wisdom and knowledge, right, shall be the stability of thy times. The strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So if you don't have this word in you, you see, if you haven't been building yourselves up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua, for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women, hey, you're going to be stuck in this time that's coming, man. You people ain't going to know what to do, man, right? That's why a lot of you're going to take that C-hip when this devil make it mandatory, man, because you ain't trying to listen to the men of the Lord that are warning you of what's coming. You see, you people think this shit a game, man, and it's not, and you people about to see that real soon, right? But this is back at Jeremiah chapter 15. And I'm going to read it again. Such are for the captivity to the captivity. Right? Because like I said, a lot of you jakes are going to be in a lot of these FEMA camps, man. You see, why you think Donald Trump, when he first came in, he funded ICE, right? Which is going to be the new police force for their new world order. And right along with these other FEMA and other different agencies, he gave them billions of dollars within his first, I think, month and a half in the White House when he was writing all of those executive orders. Why you think he's doing this? Because they're ultimately putting everything in place for they know what's to come, right? You see, they know what's coming. You see, and they're putting it all in place for what's to come. And ultimately, it's Yahweh Yahushua that's doing it. Because ultimately, we know that the Lord is the one controlling these devils on the left-hand side. He's controlling their mind, man. You see, the Lord is putting the spirit on them to set up these FEMA camps, to build at places like Alligator, Alcatraz, all throughout the U.S. You see, they're not doing these things because they want to. No, the Lord is doing it. Because like I said, we're in a time of judgment, man. And ultimately, the Lord is about to bring a lot of judgment upon these people, man. 2/3 as well as you heathens, you see, are about to be affected tremendously in these times that are coming, right? That are actually here. Because like I said, we're already in the time of Jacob's trouble. It's just in its beginning stages, man. But it's only going to continue to get worse, you see? And I'm actually finish reading. This is verse 3. It said, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. You see, those are the things that the Lord is about to ultimately unleash in these times upon you wicked Israelites, man, that are not trying to seek him. You see, teeth of wild beasts, you see, it tells you in Sirach 39:28 that there be spirits that are created for vengeance, man, which in their fury lay on sore scroats. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, right? And when you go down into that chapter, it tells you all of the things that the Lord uses for his vengeance, that he uses to bring judgment upon people. Teeth of wild beasts, the sword, you see, famine, he uses all of those things, man. And this is what he's about to bring, you see, in these times that we're in, you know? So, yeah, let me get back to, I'm going to go to Proverbs. Chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 20. It said, wisdom crieth without. She uttered her voice in the streets, right? And that wisdom is this word, man, that's uttering her voice in the street. Who's uttering the voice of this wisdom in the streets? The men of the Lord, the prophets, man, right? We're sighing and crying on these highways and byways, telling you Israelites to turn back to the Lord, man. You see? And it says, verse 21, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, right? Us out here on the streets. It says, in the openings of the gates, in the city, Salakia, in the city she uttered her voice, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? And ultimately, that's what it goes back to, man, because our people absolutely despise knowledge, man. You see? Salakia, the 2/3 of Jake, they despise instruction, man. They despise being told what to do. And ultimately, that comes from them not fearing the Lord, man. That's why they don't have this knowledge. You see, because what does it say in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, owned up in this chapter? It says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction, man. And the 2/3 of our people are in a foolish state of mind. They're in a, you know, in a folly spirit, man. You see, they don't take anything seriously. Everything is funny games with Jake till it's not. You see, and it's not about to be funny games real soon, you know. Verse 23, it says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And how is the Lord making known his words unto you, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women? Through his prophets, right? That's how the Lord is making known his words unto you, man. It tells you that in, let me grab that. We're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 15. It said, and I will give you pastors, right? Meaning teachers. According to mine heart, which shall feed you in knowledge and understanding. Right? And who are those men that the Lord have set up to be teachers to Israel? The elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. And the men under them that teach the same doctrine. Right? But like I said, what is our people doing? They're scoffing and scorning, man. They're not taking heed from the prophets. They're not taking heed of the message, man. They're not trying to seek the Lord and turn back. Right? But that's okay, though. You know? And it says, I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 23 again, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Verse 24, because I have called, right, and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. You see, our people are not regarding the hands of the Lord, man. They're not trying to seek the Lord. You see, even though he's stretching forth his hands through his prophets, through these warnings, they're not trying to take heed to it. You see, they don't want to give over into it, man. They don't want to believe what we're saying is the truth. You see? And it says, verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof, right? You go into that word reproof, it means correction, right? And we know that the average Negro, Latino, Native American men and woman in America does not like to be corrected. Jake does not want you to tell them what they need to do with their life because ultimately our people are rebellious. You see, it tells you that in Exodus chapter 32, verse 9, when the Lord was talking to Moses, he said, behold, I have seen this people. They are a stiff-necked people. right? You go into that word stiff-necked, it goes into rebellious, not wanting to take heed. You see, just rebellious, man. That's the spirit that Jake is in. But we know that ultimately that rebellious spirit is what's going to get a lot of you Jakes deleted in this time that's coming. Because what does it say in 1 Samuel chapter 15? And I'm going to grab that real quick. Right? Because that's the spirit ultimately that Jake and Eve are in here in America. You see, they're in that spirit of you can't tell them anything. Oh, you ain't got no, if you ain't talking about money, you can't talk to me. All of this different madness, man. You can't even just have a conversation with Jake, man. Because Jake's mind is too far gone. You see? That's why you niggas got to go, man. You see? Ain't nothing else for Jake. Jake got to be put down, man. And that's why the Lord is about to bring exactly that. You see? Because we done talking to you, Jake. You see, you 2/3 ain't going to get it at all. And it ain't meant for you to get it. So, hey, what does it say in 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 13? It said, be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but be rather curious on how the godly shall be saved, roughly paraphrasing it. So that's who we only focusing on at the end of the day. We only really care about the Lord's elect, man. You see, because they're the only ones the Lord is going to spare in these times, and they're going to be the only ones the Lord is going to deliver and have mercy upon. You see? So for you 2/3, hey, you're through already, man. You see? But yeah, this is 1 Samuel chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, and Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. You see, so like I said, our people don't want to obey the words of the Yahweh Shah. Jake don't want to repent and turn back to the Lord. Jake don't want to rehearse the righteous acts to the best of their abilities. Jake don't want to stop eating pork. Jake don't want to stop committing adultery and sleeping with other men's wives. You see, Jake don't want to stop being a mo. You see, I almost said the word, but I ain't going to say it. You see, they don't want to stop doing these things, man. That's being obedient, to turn away from these things that you know is not pleasing unto your power and try to do the right thing. That's being obedient. You see, turning back to the ways of the Lord. But Jake don't want to be obedient. Like I said, Jake is in that do as thou wilt spirit, man, that they learned in Christianity. You see, because in their mind, Jake has this, Christian mindset that, hey, they can do evil all day and the Lord will still love them. You see? But that's all madness, man. You see? This is verse 23. For rebellion, right, which is that spirit that a lot of you Jakes are in, you see, is as the sin of witchcraft, you see? And stubbornness is as iniquity. And idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. And we know that's Samuel talking to Saul. But still, that applies to you Jakes today, man. You're in that rebellious witchcraft spirit. And we know what it says in the scriptures, that thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, man. So if you are in that rebellious, witchcraft, do as thou wilt, oh, my way or the highway spirit, you don't want to turn back to the Lord and to seek him. You're not trying to take heed from his prophets, his messengers that he's set up in these times to warn you of what's to come. You see, guess what? Death is coming for you, man. You see, so be it. Death, right? And this is back in Proverbs chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 25 again. I'm going to read it again. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof, right? And like I said, that word reproof goes into correction, right? And what does it say in Proverbs 15:10? That correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. So like I said again, if you don't ultimately want to turn back to the Lord and to follow after his ways, you see, you want to continue to do things that you think is, pleasing unto yourself. You see, you want to continue to walk after your own thoughts and walk after your own mind, then guess what? You're going to die, man. You see, in these times that are coming. You see, just is what it is. You see? But this is verse 26. Salaki. And it says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready to do. To all of you wicked Jakes out there that ultimately didn't take heed from the men of the Lord of all of these things we've ultimately been warning you about. For years, man, starting off with the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. You see, these men have been laboring for 40 plus years, man. Starting out with the apostle Tahar and the men on down. You see? But y'all ain't listening to what the prophets say. So guess what? When all of these things come to pass that we've been warning you about through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, when they actually begin to manifest, guess what we're going to do? We're going to laugh at you, Jakes, man. When the so-called white man start running in your houses, snatching you up, you, your kids, separating y'all, putting y'all in these FEMA camps that they got set up, hey, we're going to laugh at you people, man. Because guess what? At the end of the day, we warned you, man. Right? What did the scriptures say? To warn them whether they would hear or forbear. And that's what we've been doing to you, Jakes, man. We piped unto you, and you have not, took heed of what we've been speaking. You see? And I'm actually grab that precept real quick, too. Right? Because this is what a lot of you Jakes are going to realize real soon. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. It said, and he said unto me, son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, right? A people before us a place, right? To a rebellious nation, right? That have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me even unto this very day, you see? And that's the same spirit that Jake is in even now, man, the 2/3. They're in that spirit of just continuously rebelling against the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You see, rebelling against his men. Mocking the prophets, scoffing the prophets, wanting to do harm to the men of the Lord, all because we're telling them the truth, man. You see, our people are very rebellious, man, very wicked. You see, it says, verse 4, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord power. And that's what we're telling you, Jakes, man. You see, we're not giving you our own words. We're not giving you our feelings. We're not giving you our emotions. We're telling you, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible. We're telling you that either you're going to get right with the Lord or you're going to die. One way or another, man. But we're telling you what the Lord said. That's what the scriptures say. You see? You don't want to get right with the Lord, then he's going to judge you, man. Simple and plain. We understand that you people don't like what we're telling you because we know that our people want to hear smooth things, man. Jake don't want to hear the truth. You see, Jake want to hear things that is pleasing unto their flesh. Like I said, Jake want to continue to be wicked. That's why what we say offends you people, man. You see, because you don't want to hear the truth. You see, because you want to continue to keep doing the things that you people do day in and day out. But no, we're here to tell you that if you don't turn from it, you're going to die, man. You see? And we don't care how you people feel, man. You see? But I'm going to finish reading it. It says, verse 5, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, you see? Because like I said, that means whether they will listen or whether they won't. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if you're not of the Lord's elect, you're not going to listen anyway. So we don't care about you 2/3 not listening. But at the end of the day, you can't say you wasn't warned. Because like I said, you people walk past every day and see the men of the Lord out here on the highways and the byways. You see, all throughout America, all over the world, because you got brothers teaching his word throughout the four winds of the earth. You see? So there's not going to be any excuse when the Lord brings judgment because you Jake's been warned, man. You see? About all of the things that are coming. You see? So I'm going to finish reading. It says, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, you see, not wanting to listen. It says, yet shall they know that there have been a prophet among them. And that's what a lot of you Jakes are going to realize real soon. That, oh, man, we should have listened to those guys. They were telling us the truth all along. But like I said, Jake always waits till the last minute for things, man. So Jake going to wait till all hell breaks loose to try to seek the Lord. When you could have been seeking the Lord now. You know? But this is back in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 26 again. It said, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes. So guess what? When the Lord brings the judgment, like I said, he's going to use his men, the prophets, to laugh at you, Jakes, man. We're going to see you out here being rounded up by ICE, by FEMA, and by everybody else this devil's about to unleash soon come. And we're going to laugh. You see? We're going to make a joke out of it. Just like when we were out here teaching, you people saw us week in and week out, what you did. You laughed, you pointed, you scoffed, you walked by, oh, them dudes crazy. We're going to laugh at you people, man. And I can't wait, man. Lord knows I brought desire be of the Lord's elect, man. And Lord's willing you other hopeful elect brothers and sisters are as well. Because I can't wait to laugh at you 2/3, man. You see, I can't wait for the Lord to bring down the pride of you Jakes, man. Because our people are full of pride, man. And the Lord got an ass whooping coming for you, man. You see? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, you see? And these are all of the things that the Lord is getting ready to bring upon you, Jake. Distress, anguish, misery, sufferings, man. You see? And it says, verse 28, then shall they call upon me, right? But I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. You see, like I said, that's what Jake is going to do, man. Jake is always late to the party. You know, Jacob's going to wait literally till the Lord starts bringing the things that the men of the Lord have been warning them of. You see, they're going to wait till it happens. Then they're going to try to seek the Lord. Jacob's going to literally wait till Esau is kicking in his door and rounding up his family and his kids. And then they're going to try to, oh, what's the name of that? What's the name of the Lord they was calling on in the Hebrew? What was his name? Yahweh? But it's going to be too late for you, Jake. That's why, as it tells us right here, let me grab that. That's why we tell you this, right? Sirach. Chapter 5, I'm going to get straight to the point. Verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. You see, we tell you, Jakes, week in and week out, man, to turn back to the Lord, man. To seek the Lord while he may be found, man. Call ye upon him while he is near. That's what we tell you, Jakes, man. You see? Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. And put not off from day to day. For suddenly, right, when you least suspect it, shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And in thy security, when you thinking everything going good, right? Thou should be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, man. You see? That's what we're telling you, Jakes, man. But like I said, our people don't want to listen. So, hey, it is what it is, you know. But this is back in Proverbs 1, verse 29. It said, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, you see. And we know that the Lord is only dealing with those that fear him, man. If you don't fear the Lord, he's not going to be dealing with you, aiding you, protecting you, and comforting you, have his angels encamped around about you in these times to deliver you from the evils that are coming, if you don't fear him. Because as it tells us right here, I'm going to grab this precept. Right? This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. Chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 18, getting straight to the point. It says, the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtained of his love. So like I said, man, if you don't fear the Lord, he's not going to accept you. He's not going to, look at you as his in these times, man. The elect, they fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and they're showing that fear through their actions, man. You see, because as they say in the world, actions speak louder than words. You see, and the elect are showing with their actions that they fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, doing those things that is pleasing unto the Lord to the best of their abilities, man. Working out their own salvation with fear and trembling. That's what the elect are doing. So that's why when these things come that the Lord is about to bring, he's going to be with them, man. You see, protecting them, man. You see, Lord's willing, we be at that number. But I'm going to finish back in Proverbs 1, verse 30. It says, they were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof, right? They despised all the correction from the Lord, right? Through his men, the prophets. Verse 31, it says, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. You see, the Lord going to allow you, Jake, to just go in the way that you've been going, man. Keep walking after your own thoughts. Keep walking after the ways that you see fit for yourself to live. You see, keep doing things that you think is working for you, right? And we're going to see is it going to get you through the times that's coming. You see, we're going to see if it's going to keep the Lord from allowing all of these judgments to overtake you that he has coming. You see? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Verse 33, but whoso hearkeneth, right? That word hearkeneth means to listen, man. And this is what we're telling you, Jakes, to do, to listen, man, to what the men of the Lord are telling you, because ultimately we're only the mouthpieces from the Lord. You see, like I said, we're not giving you our own opinions. We're telling you what the Lord said, man, and ultimately to listen to it, man. You see? But like I said, Jake is hard-headed, man. You can't tell Jake nothing, right? But it says, verse 33, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from the fear of evil, man. And that's what we're telling you, Jake, that if you turn back to the Lord, if you seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, if you do those things in which it is that is pleasing unto him to the best of your abilities, then guess what? The Lord is going to protect you in the times of this evil that he's bringing upon the earth. Because we know that the Lord is the one in control over both good and evil. You see? So you don't think the same one that's bringing it can ultimately stop it from coming upon you, long as you trust in him and you fear him and you do those things that he wants you to do by turning back to him, sorrowful and remorseful. You see? But like I said, our people don't want to do that, man. You see? So that's why, like I said, judgment is coming. And I'm going to actually pull out this article that I got. Because, things are heating up, brothers and sisters. They definitely are, right? And all of these things that we've been warning you, Jigsaw, for so long, telling you, hey, it's manifested, man. You see? So you can keep playing around, with these warnings like you Jakes have been doing. And, hey, you people going to get messed up, man. Right? And I got to grab that. Before I even get the article, I got to bring it up, This is 2nd Hedges chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse 9. It said, then shall they be in pitiful case, right? This is what's getting ready to come upon you jakes, man, that ultimately are not listening to the words of the men of the Lord, that are not listening to the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Because like I said, we're only mouthpieces for the Lord at the end of the day. You see? It says, then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. You see? Because that's what the Lord is getting ready to bring upon America, man, and the world. You see? And upon these people. Torments, man. Torture, suffering, affliction, hell, chaos, anxiety, fear. That's what's about to overtake a lot of you Babylonians, man. You see? It says, verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. You see? Because that's all Jake focus on in this place America, man. All our people mind is geared towards is ultimately, you know, money and all type of different material, carnal things, man. You see, they can care less about trying to know the Lord, about trying to seek the Lord, about trying to do those things that's pleasing unto him, man. You see, aligning their life with the way that the Lord wants them to conduct themselves. They could care less about that, man. Like I said, because the only thing our people worried about is the things of his flesh, man. Money, cars, clothes. You see, being seen and pleases of men. You see, that's what Jake more so care about, man. You see? Being deemed as somebody in this world. You see? Being looked at as somebody that everybody likes. You see? This place is crazy, man. That's why this place got to go, man. You see? And it says, I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 11, and they that have loathed my law, meaning to hate, right? Because you 2/3, you hate the ways of the Lord, man. That's just what it is, right? It says, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, right? Talking about this grace period, because like I said, we're still in the time of mercy. But those doors are fastly closing, man. You see? It says, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. You see, they despise, you know, the Lord, really, because like I said, at the end of the day, we're only the mouthpieces of the Lord. If you're despising and you know, hating the things that we're telling you, then you ultimately just despise the Lord. That's really what it is, because we're only giving you the words that he put in us to give you. You see? If you don't like it, then, hey, that means something is wrong with you, man. You see? But as it says, the same must know it after death by pain. You see? And that's ultimately what the Lord is about to bring in these times, man. And he's about to use his sword, Esau Edom, the so-called white man on the left hand, to bring a lot of that pain, man. Right? So I'm going to get into this article that I got. Just going into the latest news of things that you ultimately have happening. A lot of things are happening, man. I'm telling you, like, you know, things in this country is about to heat up real soon, man. Like, you know, it's right there. It's vivid, man. You can see it clearly, man. Like I said, you got to be blind and not see what's about to happen, right? But like I said, these people out here, they're through. You see, especially 2/3 of our people, man. They don't see nothing, man. Like I said, because they're too busy caught up with the cares and the affairs of this life, pleasing their flesh. You see, worrying about money, clothes, and hoes. That's all a nigga knows. As the elder Amawan Abba to say, you know. But yeah, that's all Jake mind is on, man. It's folly. So they don't see what's ahead, right? But that's why it tells you in Proverbs 22:3 that a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. But the simple, right, pass on and are punished, man. And that's the mindset of these American people, man. These people are simple. Long as they got their Instagram and their TikTok and they got their GMO food, they happy. They don't care about anything else that's happening around them. Long as they got their, you know, their things that is pleasing unto them, man. You see? Their cigarettes, their weed, whatever these people do. Long as they got their devices that they got to please and satisfy their flesh, they can care less about anything else, man. Right? That's why these simple people are about to be punished. You know? I'm going to grab this article right here. Salaki. And it said Trump officially sends military to Chicago. You see? So now you got Nero Trump, which is that cruel Lord that it tells us about in Isaiah 19:4. He sent the military to Chicago, man. You see? And I wonder where you so-called tough Jakes at are now. You see, because ultimately you had a lot of jakes on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, and all of these other different apps. And they were talking so proudly, like, oh, we can send the National Guard out here. We want you to. Oh, we got YNs. They got switches and all of this different type of madness. You jakes don't stand a chance against this devil, man. That's what we're telling you. Because Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua has set this man in power. And you ultimately can't take down this devil, man. That's why we're going to need our Lord Yahushua to take this man down. Right? That's why it tells you in Zephaniah chapter 3. Let me grab that. Right? Because Jake feel in their mind that they can fight against this man and prevail. That's why we're about to come into a time where a lot of you Jakes are about to be slaughtered, man. Taking matters into your own hands. That's why in Romans chapter 12, verse 19, it says, avenge not yourselves, neither give place unto wrath. For vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord, man. We got to allow the Lord to fight our battles, man. We can't fight against this man. You see, and his blessing, which is the sword, what this man is advanced in. You see, that's why a lot of you Jakes in these times, like I said, are about to get mowed down like fresh cut grass, man. You see? This is Zephaniah. Chapter 3. And I'm going to read verse 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me. You see, that's who we supposed to wait upon. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You see? Saith the Lord unto the day that I rise up to the prey. Because the Lord going to destroy this devil, man. You see? It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, right? You heathens, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, man. And that's what we're ultimately waiting for. You see? So that's why when all of these things come to pass, when the race wars and everything that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua has, that's soon about to take place in America, hey, we already know why these things are happening. And we're just going to ultimately put our trust and hope in the Lord to be with us and to deliver us from these things. We're not going to take matters into our own hands, man. We're not going to try to think that we can fight against this man and prevail. You see? Because you Jakes that got that mindset, like I said, you're not going to make it in these times, man. You see? But you know these things are coming to America. You see? And I'm actually grab that real quick, real fast. Because the Lord is bringing these things. But I'm going to finish reading into the article, then I grab this precept. It says, Trump orders troops into Chicago, right? And it says today is Sunday, October the Salakia. This was the day I posted the article, but it says October the 5th. It says Trump has officially authorized the deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. You see, last night there was a shoot. Well, that's going off topic, but yeah, you brothers and sisters basically got a gist of what the article says. You got the military now present in Chicago. You see? And like I said, all of that ultimately is going to lead to what's coming, which is martial law and everything else that these devils are about to set up in this country, man. Right? Everything that we see happening with them sending these National Guard troops to all of these different cities throughout America, that's ultimately only the prelude, man, to what's ultimately to come. You see? But I'm actually grab that real quick. We're going to go back to 2nd Hedges 15. And I'm going to start at verse 14, because ultimately this is what all of this is going to lead to. Because like I said, the Lord is going to put the spirit on these Babylonians, and they're going to fight against each other, man. You see? So that's what's coming, you know? It says, 2nd Hedges 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. That word woe meaning destruction. Because that's ultimately what's coming upon this world, man. Nothing but destruction. You see, what does it say in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1? It said, there's no also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And we're living in those perilous times, which that goes to times that are uncertain, that are risky and hazardous. And we're definitely living in hazardous times, man. That's why we only going to continue to see things heat up more and more in this country, ultimately leading over to all of this chaos that's about to happen, right? This is verse 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And when something is not, I mean it's soon to approach. Because ultimately these things we're telling you, Jakes, about, they're about to happen soon come, man. You're about to have race wars and class wars and civil wars and stuff like that happening in America. Because like I said, these people already feel backed into a corner. Because ultimately a lot of these proud Edomite Americans that voted for Trump, they see that this devil is doing nothing that he said he was ultimately going to do. So you already got people that are frustrated and that are ready to take matters into their own hands. You see, they see everything in America is collapsing. You see all of these people getting laid off from these jobs. You got a government shutdown going on right now. So you got people that are not even getting paid. I mean, everything that we see happening in this place is ultimately adding fuel to the fire, man. That's going to ignite everything off, man. You see? But it says, verse 15 again, for the sword in their destruction draweth not, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what you're about to have taking place real soon out here in Babylon the Great. There's going to be complete lawlessness, man. Chaos, anarchy. You see? It's going to be just danger everywhere you turn, man. That's why you're ultimately going to need the Lord in these times to make it through it. Because you're not going to be able to make it through these times on your own. Like I said, it's going to be too chaotic, man. You see? But this is verse 16. It says, for there should be sedition among men. And when you go into that word sedition, that goes into basically people uprising against the government. And that's going to happen real soon in America as well, because as we can see with all of these protests that are happening throughout America, you having a sedition already happened at a smaller scale, but it's going to continue to grow. Like I said, you know, so you already see, like I said, what's happening with ICE rounding up people. You already got people riding against ICE. You see, actually, it was just a video that came out on the news. I believe it was maybe about 2 days ago, where you actually had a woman that was at an ICE rally. And I believe they said she tried to hit one of the officers or something like that. And she ended up getting, shot. You know, I don't know if she passed or not, but they said that she got, hit. So, I mean, these ICE agents are already applying force upon you people. And like I said, what that's going to put on the minds of these people? That they got to fight back as well. This is all the spirit that the Lord has in this place, America, right now, man. Because these are the things that are coming, right? And that's ultimately because, like I said, we're at the end of Esau Edom's world, man. We're at the end of the so-called white man being in power. And the Lord about to take his ass down, man. And everybody that's joined hand to hand with this devil, which are you 2/3 of you heathens, you're going to go down right along with this man, with all of the things that the Lord is soon about to bring upon the earth, especially to America, because this place is going to get it the worst. You see, out of all of these other countries, everybody else is going to get wrecked, shot too. But the Lord really going to punish this place. He's about to make this place an example, man. You see, just like he made Sodom and Gomorrah an example. This place is going to be made an example of, man. And everybody that love this place, they going down with it. You see? But let me finish reading. It said, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Right? And we already see that happening now on a small scale. You see people not, the kings and princes going into basically like the government. You see the police forces, ICE. You see these people are not already regarding these people. Like I said, you got people throwing bricks at them, all type of different stuff. So people are already in that spirit of ready to rebel, ready to revolt. You see, and that's coming. You see, it says, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And the reason ultimately a man won't be able to go to a city is because you're going to have martial law going on. You see, that's why ultimately, as I said earlier, Donald Trump is talking about invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807. And that's going to bring in the military into these cities, man, throughout America. And like I said, everything we see happening now with just a few little cities that they already have National Guard deployed to, that's only setting the stage for what they finna do across the whole United States. Because like I said, this devil's about to come in with great wrath. Let me grab that. I'm gonna grab that, because this is ultimately what we see happening, man. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, right? The devil is talking about, you ultimately have the spiritual demon Shaitan on the left-hand side, but he takes orders from the Heavenly Father. And you also got the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. That's who that's talking about when it says devil. Because a lot of you Christians and a lot of you other people, you believe that they're talking about a man that's underground, that's cooking bacon, man. You know, with a pitchfork and horns, man. No, the devil is an actual person, man. And it's this so-called white man. And that's who we see coming down heavy in these times, man, who the Lord is going to use for ultimately these times that we're in, man. What does it say in Proverbs 16:4? It says that the Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked, right, which is Esau, for the day of evil. And we're in that evil time, man, right? And this devil is showing it, right, through what he's doing, man. His unrighteous decrees, his legislations, you see everything he's doing, you know, he's showing that he's the devil, man. You see? And like I said, you tribes, right, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, you're definitely about to see that this man is the devil, because he ultimately has a perpetual hatred for you tribes, man. You see? And that's why with everything that you ultimately see happening, the only people that this man is going after is the Northern Kingdom. And now he's rounding up Southern Kingdom, Jakes, in Chicago. So like I said, you tribes are the primary enemy and target in this man's sight, man. Why you think with everybody that came across the southern border during those 4 years of Joe Biden when he was in office, when they had the border wide open, man, you had millions of people flood in here. You see, you had Moabites flood over here. You had Hamites. You had Edomites. You see, Ishmaelites, all type of different nation of people. But why is it that he's only going after the northern tribes? You don't see them rounding up anybody else that came over here, right? Because you Jakes are the target, man. You see? And we told you see? But you don't want, like I said, you Jakes don't want to listen to what the men of the Lord are telling you. You think what we saying is crazy. So guess what? You people about to find out the hard way, man. And so be it. You see? So be it. I'm going to finish reading. It says, for the devil has come down unto you, right? Who he's coming down upon. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, men and women, right? And it's only the beginning. Like I said, everything is going to get worse. So this devil's just getting started, man. We ain't seen nothing yet, man. You see? It says, having great wrath, right? Having extreme anger, because that's what this man has towards you, Jake, a perpetual hatred, man. You see? And it says, having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time, you see? And that's why you're about to see this man move full speed with everything that he's trying to accomplish. You see, because he ultimately knows that he had but a short time to try to establish his new world order, man, his enterprise, which is ultimately going to fail, of course. But, you know, hey, that's what this devil's coming with, man. And like I said, you Jakes are the primary target of who he's coming after, man. You see? That's why it's called Jacob's trouble, even though we know that it's trouble for all nations. But the main people that are going to begin persecuted and you see and ultimately afflicted in these times are going to be Jake, man. You see? But ultimately, like I said, the Lord is going to allow these things to happen because the majority of our people are wicked. And really, this is only punishment coming for the 2/3. You see? Because the Lord, like I said, is going to be with the elect during these terrible times, man. The Lord is not going to allow these things to come upon his remnant. But for you 2/3 wicked, rebellious, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, guess what? Hey, all of these things about to come upon you, man. You see? Concentration camps. You see? All type of different madness, man. You see? Being rounded out of your houses by the military. You see? All of these different things, man, is coming. Right? And let me grab that real quick. We're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 30. Because this is where we're at, man. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, for thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace, you see. And that's what we're telling you Israelites is coming. We're telling you that we're living in some very deadly, serious times, man. We're living in a time of evil, man. You see? But Jake in their mind believe that peace is going to come back. You see? Because they believe in everything that the so-called white man is telling them. You see? Esau is 2/3 Jake's father, man. So they believe when we they believe that when this devil Nero Trump is saying that we're going to make America great again, Jake feels somehow in their mind that he's talking about making it better for them. You see, when he's really talking about making it better by eradicating you Israelites, man. That's what they really mean about making America great again. It's about ultimately establishing white supremacy back and the Edomites being the head nation of everything, man. Them basically being in control over everything and ultimately having you Jakes underfoot. That's in their mind what they believe, or what they thought America was great when they were doing that, when they were afflicting you, man. When they were able to just, do whatever they wanted to do to Jake and get away with it. That's when America was great. You see? And this is the time we're about to come back into, man, real soon, man. And like I said, the Lord going to allow these devils to do everything that they got planned for you 2/3, man. You see? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. And we know the answer to that is no, that ultimately a man cannot have a child, right? But it says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, you see? And that's talking about for you 2/3 Jakes. For you want to be tough guys out here, they think you tough, just like those guys on the social media website that was ultimately talking about how if the National Guard come to their city, they're going to fight against them and all of this. Where y'all at now? Esau done sent them troops out there to y'all cities, and you Jake's quiet. Y'all in the house, man. Because that's all Jake do is run their damn mouth. Ain't going to do nothing, man. You see? But that's why ultimately the Lord is about to punish you wicked Jakes, man. You see? But like I said, fear is about to overcome a lot of you Israelites, man. You see, you Jakes out there that are playing around, that don't want to turn back to the Lord. Guess what? In this time that's coming, fear is going to overtake you, man. We're going to see if your gun going to be able to deliver you out of what's coming. We're going to see if your money going to deliver you out of what's coming. You see? We're going to see if your house and all this, your necklace and everything that you people trust in, we're going to see if that's going to deliver you out of what the Lord about to bring upon you, man. You see? This is verse 7. Alas, for that day is great. You see? Because this is going to be a time like no other. Right? That's why it tells you in Daniel chapter 12 that the archangel Michael going to have to stand up, man. Ultimately to protect the nation of Israel, the elect of the nation of Israel. You see? Because it's going to be that terrible out here, man. When these things really do unleash, you know? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? Talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. But he shall be saved out of it, right? Who is going to be saved out of it? The 1/3 remnant of the nation of Israel, the elect, those that were predestined from the beginning to receive salvation in these times that the Lord is going to have mercy upon, which we pray and hope, Abarat that we're a part of that number. You see that the Lord ultimately has mercy upon us, man. You see? But I'm going to grab that real quick. This is Daniel's chapter 12, and I'm going to read just verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael, right, stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And like I said, that's only going to be the elect, man. Those are going to be the only ones the Lord is going to have mercy upon in these times, man. Right? When the Lord allows this devil to unleash upon you tribes and to really come down upon you like a madman that he is. Hey, the Lord is only going to be with the elect of Israel, man. Right? And let me grab another precept just going into that. This is 2nd Hedges chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, right? And who is that burning wrath of a great multitude? That's Esau, man, and his military, right? His military, his AI robots, everything that the Lord is about to allow this man to unleash upon you wicked Israelites, man. You see? It says, finish reading, it says, and they shall take away certain of you, right? And feed you being idle with things offered unto idols, man. You see? And that's going into ultimately the MOTB microchip. Because like I said, at the end of the day, that's what this devil wants to accomplish, which we know is going to come because it's prophecy. But this devil wants to ultimately put his implantable device inside of all of you Israelites, man. But we know that the Lord is with his elect, and he's not going to ultimately allow this man to to put that mark in the elect. They're not going to take it, even if it means ultimately being put to death. You see, the elect are not going to take that mark, but you 2/3, you're going to willingly take it. You see, and your ass going to be destroyed. You see? But it says, verse 69, and they that consent, right? Meaning to agree, you basically, allowing this man to put his charagma inside of you, right? And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Because you're basically going to be destroyed, man. If you take this charagma, this RFID microchip, you see, if you allow fear and all these other things to take over you, that you subscribe to this man's, system by, taking his charagma, you bow down the knee to this devil, then guess what? The Lord's going to kill you, man. You see? That's why ultimately we pray and hope that we're the Lord's remnant, man. That we ultimately don't take this implantable device. Because there's only going to be one consequence for taking this thing, man. You're not going to make it. You see, you're going to ultimately take part in that lake of fire, which is the second death, which is going to be Babylon the Great America, after the Lord allows 200 million nuclear warheads to pelt this place right along with the laser beams of the chariots. That's what's going to be the fate of those that take this RFID microchip. You see, you're going to be melted, man. You see? And it says, verse 70, for there should be in every place and in the next city, this is talking about here in America, Babylon the Great, man. It says a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, right? And who are those that fear the Lord? That's talking about you Israelites, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian. You see? That's why as I was going into, I said that you see that all of the people that ultimately came across the southern border, why is it that he's only going after the tribes? Because like I said, you Jakes are the enemy, man. You're the target. We told you that this man is your enemy. But like I said, you Jakes don't listen to what we say. You think that the so-called white man is your father, your brother, that he loves you because he give you jobs, he give you food stamps, he give you all these different things that you people got. And you think that this man cares about you. But we're going to see how much he cares about you real soon. When, like I said, he's snatching you and your kids out of the house and pulling y'all into detention centers, man. Holding you against your will and doing all type of different things to you that this man is going to do. Because this man is a devil, man. The Lord about to allow this man to truly, show his horns upon you, Jakes, man. I'm telling you. This man got torture centers set up. All type of different things, man. It's going to be, man, I'm telling you, that's why we're going to need the Lord, man. Because it's going to be crazy the things that the Lord is going to allow this man to do. You see, when he really unleashes, it's going to be crazy. But I'm going to finish reading. It says, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. That word insurrection goes into a violent uprising, mainly against the government. But in this case, it's going to be an uprising against you people, you tribes, you Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women. You see? And I'm going to read on down. It says, verse 71, it says, they should be like madmen. Who is going to be like a madman? Esau, man, with his military, with his, AI drones and everything else that this man ultimately possesses. He's going to be like a madman in this time, man. You see? And we see that happening now. Like I said, look what he's doing in the Northern Kingdom, Jake. You see how he's snatching them up out of their houses, snatching them up while they're at work, taking their kids. This man doing all type of stuff. And look what he's doing to you Southern Kingdom Jakes now. Like I just said, a video just came out with a so-called African-American man who they know was born in this country. He just got snatched up by ICE. So like I said, this man does not care about you Israelites, man. You see? And we warned you. You see? So it says, I'm going to finish reading. It says they should be like madmen, sparing none. You see? They ain't going to care about your kids. They ain't going to care about your mama, you. None of you, man. You see? If you don't got the Lord with you in these times, you through, man. You see? It says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Verse 72, for they shall waste to take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Like I said, that's going into rounding you up into these detention centers, pulling you in places like Alligator, Alcatraz, and all of these other different type of camps they have set up around America. You see all of these private prisons. Oh, yeah, those going to be concentration camps, man. And that's where they're going to ultimately be holding you at and trying to make you take this charagma. That's where they're going to have people rounded up into so they can be trying to force this MOTB upon those that don't take it. Guess what? We already know the fate of it. You see, because some of us, hopeful like brothers and sisters, we're ultimately going to be put to death, man. You see? That's why we got to know what we're involved in and know how serious this thing is that we're in. Because guess what? Soon to come, hey, we're going to be ultimately put to death, man, for not taking that charagma. You got to prepare your mind for that, man. That, hey, if you don't take that mark, that you're going to be put to death. And so be it. Like I said, we don't got anything here, man. This place ain't our rest. You see, what does it say in Hebrews 13 and 14? For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, man. We know that this is not the end, man. You see, well, this is the end for Esau, but for us, Lord's willing, we be at that number. This is not the end for us, man. So even if we do have to, be beheaded or whatever for not taking his mark, so be it. What does it say in 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 16? It says that the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first, man. We're going to be the first ones beamed up into the chariots, putting on the new bodies. If we're the Lord's remnant, you see? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 73, it said, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, you see? And the reason why everybody is ultimately going to know who the Lord's elect is, because guess what? In the midst of all of the chaos that's going to be going on here in America, 2/3 of our people, they're not going to be stable. But the elect man of the nation of Israel, Adarat we bear that number, they're going to be stable, man. You see, we're going to be focused. We're going to be level-headed. We're not going to be panicking and in fear like the rest of these people are, because they ain't going to know what to do. You see, when this man comes in like a flood, they're going to just be, that's why it tells you in the scriptures that men's hearts fell in them for fear, man. People ain't going to know what to do if the Lord ain't with you, man. You're going to just ultimately give in into the fear, you see? Because like I said, to make it through this time that we're coming into, the Lord going to have to be with you, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You ain't going to make it through this time on your own, man. You see? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Verse 74. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. And that's what we're ultimately warning you Israelites about, man, that we are in the times of trouble. That's why you literally see everything happening around the world and here in this place, America. These things are not happening by coincidence. These things are happening because we are in the times of the end, man, where the Lord is about to judge this earth, man. You see, and if you're not on his side, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that are not seeking him, you're about to be put to death, man. No better way to say it. That's what's coming. You see? So it says, But I will deliver you from the same, right? And who is the Lord going to deliver from the same? The elect, man. Those that are ultimately of his remnant, the 1/3 who the Lord ultimately cherishes, who he's going to protect in these times. He's going to bring them through these hard times, man. You see, what does it say? I got to grab it. This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it says, and it shall come to pass, right? This is talking about in America. This is a future prophecy. This is going to happen over here, man. It says that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Right? That's talking about you wicked jakes, man, that ultimately didn't want to turn back to the Lord. You didn't want to repent. You thought that everything that we were speaking about was all fun and games. You laughed at it. Okay, right? It says, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein, right? That's talking about the elect. Verse 9, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, right? And that just goes to show you how important the names are, man. You see, what does it say in Proverbs 18:10? That the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and it's safe, man. You see, for you jakes out here that's believing in Jebus and Allah and everything else that you're subscribed to, that's not going to deliver you in that time, in this time that's coming. You see, the only thing that's going to ultimately, get you through these times is if Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is dealing with you, man, if you're of his elect. You see, what does it say in Sirach chapter 17, verse 10? It says, and the elect shall praise his holy name. You see? So the elect are going to praise the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. You see? And even if you are calling on the names of the Lord, you got to be of the elect. So even if you do call on the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, if you're not of the Lord's remnant, you still ain't going to get answered. You see, you still ain't going to be delivered. You know how many people know the name of the Lord that are not of the elect? We don't even know if we're of the elect, and we know the names of the Lord. That's why all we can do is pray and hope that the Lord has mercy upon us in these times that are coming, that we are deemed worthy to make it through these times that are getting ready to come upon the earth, man. You see, to make it through the famine, to make it through Jacob's trouble, to make it through the hour of temptation, to make it through the thermonuclear destruction that's going to come for America. We want to make it through these things, man. We don't ultimately want to perish in them, which we know what the majority of our people, that's what they're about to face and go through. You see, some tormenting, things, man. And the Lord ain't going to be with them, right? But I'm going to finish reading. It says, verse 9, it said, and I will hear them. I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, is my power. So, like I was saying, the Lord is going to be with the elect in these times. You see, we don't have anything to worry about. As long as we can continue to pray and hope that the Lord keeps his spirit on us to continue to keep doing those things that is pleasing unto him to the best of our abilities, then, hey, we have nothing to worry about in the times that are to come. Because ultimately, these things are only created for the wicked, man. You see, that's talking about the 2/3 of our own people in these nations, man. These things the Lord is about to bring upon them, man. You see? Now, let me grab that. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 40. And I'm going to start at verse 9. It said, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and a scourge, which these are all the things that are coming, right? Verse 10, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So like I said, long as the Lord continues to keep the spirit on us, to keep fearing him, to keep serving him, and to continue to keep doing those things that he requires of us to do, when all of these things happen and come, we have nothing to worry about, man, because the Lord, Abaratazah, we be of that number, going to be with us, man. You see? So with that being said, Lord's willing, I pray this lesson be edifying to you, brothers, and you few sisters that may come across it. With that being said, we're going to end the live by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rakah, Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the 144,000, the elect, you Akim, scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, that are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And also shalom to the Akwaf, which are you few sisters that are sincere, and your children. Shalom. To the next time, Kwam Yasharala, Abad, Babal, shalom to the elect. Shalom.